Professional, center to edge aiming, video 3, professional, basic CTE. Basic CTE is a very, very important CTE method to learn. It is foundational to center to edge aiming. Basic CTE is highlighted by sighting the center of the cue ball to an object ball sight point. It's also highlighted by pivoting to center. Now, as a professional method for applying CTE, basic CTE is a full stance operation. Think back to Pro 1. Pro 1 is a ball address CTE operation whereby one establishes perfect aim. The rest of it just falls into place. For basic CTE, during ball address, my main thing to do is to make the correct mental decision as to what visual I'm looking at, what the pivot direction is. This is a 15 outside. That's my work at ball address. Now, so what I need to do in order to get into full stance so that I can do my CTE work for basic CTE is that I'm going to take my parallax vision into full stance. I didn't do that with Pro 1. You know that by now. So, for being able to apply basic CTE in full stance, to establish a perfect perception so that you can pivot to center, you have to take your parallax viewing position to full stance. How do you do that? Well, starting at ball address, at this point, I'm going to start the gearing process. I'm going to start the gearing process as I just drop into the shot. How do I do that? My head is going to start turning further to the left. For what purpose? To maintain a view of the sideline. Now, while I'm moving into that full stance, I'm already gearing. What am I gearing? I'm gearing the inside of the cue ball against the outside of the object ball so that I can begin to gear the center cue ball sighting tick to be aligned to right object ball SP15, the tick that's representative of that. So I'm going to start gearing right here, right here. So my nose is well to the inside of center cue ball. I'm in a parallax position. Now, so even when I get in full stance, I can tweak more to see the perfect perception by additional gearing. So when I get into full stance, if I want to gear more, how do I do that? Look at the inside of the cue ball against the outside of the object ball. Now, the stepping to the nissel or to the shot line occurs naturally, subconsciously, to a large degree until you get dialed into what's actually happening. Because my bridge V is on the outside of the sight line, I'm already focused on this outer half of the object ball, which takes me to the outermost center, the center that I'm going to pivot to or bring my cue into. So the stepping process is quite natural, simply because of where your bridge V is positioned. So when I move into this cue ball object ball relationship, I'm going to establish the perfect perception. I'm going to gear inside of the cue ball to the outside of the object ball. So once I get the center cue ball tick geared to right object ball SP15, I'm ready to align to the outermost center. I can pivot there or just move my cue over to that alignment. What's key to basic CTE is that you've got your cue out of the way so that you can really learn to see the sight line, the parallax line, the stepping process as it unfolds. So that's very unnatural and very different when you compare it to conventional aiming. So I would encourage anybody to do their due diligence with center edge aiming by working a lot with basic CTE. Now when I move this to a mirroring position for a 15 outside, my mental decision is already made. I'm not going to aim up here, right cue ball edge to C. At a professional level, my skills are already established as to what it is I'm going to do. I'm going to move in on the sight line so that I can gear and establish the perfect perception. There it is. Then I just peek around at this half of the cue ball. My bridge V is already over there. It's easy to do. It actually happens subconsciously. And then I can just, once I'm geared into perfection, then I just align to this outermost center that's based on this outermost tick that I can see. In other words, I'm just aligning to this half ball based on this tick. So, basic CTE can be used during professional play. But in order to be efficient with it, you have to know what the keys are for being able to use it in a professional manner. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you in video 4.